The Italian Renaissance, with its emphasis on classical forms and humanist ideals, captivated the world. This period, spanning roughly from the 14th to the 17th century, saw a revival of ancient Greek and Roman thought, art and culture. Artists like Leonardo da Vinci, Michelangelo and Raphael became household names, their works celebrated for their beauty, technical skill and innovative approaches. Yet, north of the Alps, a different kind of Renaissance blossomed. This movement, known as the Northern Renaissance, began in the late 15th century and continued into the early 17th century. It was influenced by the Italian Renaissance but developed its own unique characteristics and artistic expressions. This Northern European Renaissance, while sharing some similarities with its Italian counterpart, forged its own distinct path. The artists of the North were deeply influenced by the Gothic tradition and the detailed realism of medieval manuscript illumination. In contrast to the Italian focus on idealized beauty and grand narratives, Northern artists demonstrated a keen eye for detail and a fascination with the world around them. They meticulously captured the textures of fabrics, the play of light on surfaces, and the subtleties of human expression. Northern Renaissance paintings drew inspiration from the everyday lives of ordinary people, the beauty of nature, and the teachings of Christianity. Artists like Albrecht Durer, Hieronymus Bosch, and Peter Bruegel the Elder depicted scenes of daily life, landscapes and religious subjects with a level of detail and realism that was unprecedented. This focus on realism and emotional intensity resulted in artworks of striking intimacy and profound spiritual depth. The Northern artists' ability to convey complex human emotions and spiritual experiences set their work apart and gave it a timeless quality. While Italian artists embraced fresco painting on a grand scale, their Northern counterparts excelled in oil painting on panel. This medium allowed for greater precision and a richer color palette, enabling artists to achieve a high degree of realism and detail. This technique allowed for an unprecedented level of detail and luminosity, evident in the works of masters like Jan van Eyck. His meticulous approach to oil painting set new standards for artistic achievement and influenced generations of artists. The Northern Renaissance was not simply a regional variation of the Italian Renaissance. It was a unique and powerful movement that reflected the cultural, social and religious contexts of Northern Europe. It was a unique and powerful movement that left an indelible mark on the history of art. The innovations and artistic achievements of the Northern Renaissance continue to be celebrated and studied for their contributions to the development of Western art. Its legacy can be seen in the meticulous detail of Dutch Golden Age painting, the introspective portraits of the Northern Baroque and beyond. The influence of Northern Renaissance art extended well into the 17th century and beyond, shaping the course of European art history. The Northern Renaissance reminds us that beauty can be found not only in idealized forms, but also in the everyday miracles of the natural world and the depths of human experience. It teaches us to appreciate the intricate details of life and the profound emotions that connect us all. One of the defining characteristics of the Northern Renaissance was its diversity. Unlike the Italian Renaissance, which was largely centered in Florence and Rome, the Northern Renaissance encompassed a wide geographical area. This included modern-day Netherlands, Belgium, Germany and France. This geographical diversity contributed to a rich tapestry of artistic styles and themes. While realism was a hallmark of Northern Renaissance art, it manifested in different ways. Some artists, like Jan van Eyck, achieved astonishing levels of detail in their depictions of the physical world. Every fold in a garment, every hair on a head was rendered with meticulous precision. Others, like Hieronymus Bosch, used realism as a tool for social commentary and religious allegory. Bosch's fantastical creatures and nightmarish landscapes served as moral warnings, reminding viewers of the perils of sin and the importance of righteousness. Portraiture flourished in the north, with artists capturing not only the physical likeness of their subjects, but also their inner lives. Religious themes remained central to Northern Renaissance art. However, these themes were often explored through a more personal and emotional lens than in Italian art. The suffering of Christ, for example, was depicted with unflinching realism, inviting viewers to contemplate the human cost of salvation. The Northern Renaissance witnessed a revolution in painting techniques. Oil paint, with its slow drying time and ability to be blended seamlessly, allowed artists to achieve unprecedented levels of detail and luminosity. This technique, pioneered by artists like Jan van Eyck, became synonymous with Northern Renaissance art. It enabled the creation of rich, jewel-toned colors and subtle gradations of light and shadow. Artists used layers of translucent glazes to create a sense of depth and realism. This technique, known as glazing, involved applying thin layers of oil paint over a dried underpainting. Each layer modified the colors and tones beneath, resulting in a luminous, almost ethereal quality. Northern Renaissance artists were masters of light. They used light not only to illuminate their subjects, but also to create mood and atmosphere. The play of light and shadow, known as chiaroscuro, added a sense of drama and three-dimensionality to their paintings. Perspective, while not as mathematically rigorous as in Italian Renaissance art, was used effectively to create a sense of space and depth. Northern artists excelled in depicting textures. From the sheen of silk to the roughness of wood, they rendered the material world with astonishing accuracy. Section 4. Hidden Meanings, Symbolism and Allegory. Northern Renaissance paintings were more than just beautiful images. They were intricate visual narratives, each element meticulously chosen to convey deeper meanings. These artworks were complex creations, imbued with layers of symbolism and allegory that went beyond mere aesthetics. Every object, every gesture, every detail often carried symbolic meaning. Artists of the time were adept at embedding these symbols within their work. This reflected the deeply religious context of the time and the belief that the material world was a reflection of the divine. The Church played a significant role in commissioning these works, ensuring that religious themes were prevalent. For example, a single lily in a painting could represent the purity of the Virgin Mary, a symbol that would be immediately recognizable to contemporary viewers. Similarly, a dog might symbolize loyalty or fidelity, often placed at the feet of a married couple to signify their bond. Artists used these symbols to convey complex theological ideas and moral messages. They were not just painters, but storytellers, weaving intricate tales through their art. They challenged viewers to look beyond the surface and contemplate the deeper spiritual significance of their work. This engagement with the viewer was a crucial aspect of Northern Renaissance art. Allegory, the representation of abstract ideas through concrete images, was another important element of Northern Renaissance art. These allegories often carried moral or philosophical messages. For instance, the 7 deadly sins or the virtues were often personified as human figures engaged in various activities. These personifications made abstract concepts more relatable and understandable. These allegorical representations served as moral reminders, urging viewers to strive for virtue and avoid the pitfalls of sin. They were didactic tools, teaching lessons through visual means. Understanding the symbolism and allegory in Northern Renaissance art is essential to unlocking its full meaning. It requires a keen eye and a knowledge of the cultural and religious context of the time. It allows us to appreciate the intellectual sophistication of the artists and the profound spiritual messages they sought to convey. By delving into these hidden meanings, we gain a deeper appreciation for the art and the era in which it was created. Section 5. The Seeds of Change. Origins of the Northern Renaissance. The Northern Renaissance did not emerge in isolation. It was a vibrant and dynamic period that was influenced by a multitude of factors, each contributing to the rich tapestry of cultural and intellectual revival. Its roots can be traced back to a confluence of factors that were transforming European society in the late 14th and 15th centuries. This transformation was not sudden, but rather a gradual evolution that set the stage for the Renaissance to flourish. One such factor was the burgeoning merchant class. These merchants were not just traders, they were the new economic powerhouses of their time. As trade flourished, so too did the wealth of these merchants. Their influence extended beyond commerce as they began to play a crucial role in the cultural and artistic life of their cities. They became important patrons of the arts, commissioning portraits, altarpieces, and other works that reflected their status and piety. This patronage was instrumental in fostering a new wave of artistic expression. The invention of the printing press in the mid-15th century played a pivotal role in disseminating knowledge and ideas. This technological breakthrough cannot be overstated. The printing press made it possible to mass-produce books, including religious texts and classical literature. This democratization of knowledge meant that ideas could spread more rapidly and widely than ever before. This newfound access to knowledge fueled intellectual curiosity and contributed to a growing interest in humanist ideas. Scholars and thinkers began to question traditional doctrines and explore new ways of understanding the world. The Northern Renaissance was also deeply influenced by religious reforms sweeping through Europe. These reforms were not just about theology, but also about how people lived their daily lives and expressed their faith. The Devotio Moderna, a spiritual movement that emphasized personal piety and inner devotion, had a profound impact on art. This movement encouraged a more personal and emotional connection to spirituality. It encouraged artists to create works that evoked emotional responses and fostered a deeper connection with the divine. This shift in artistic focus can be seen in the more intimate and expressive works of the period. The Northern Renaissance was shaped by a complex interplay of economic, social, technological, and religious factors. Each of these elements contributed to the unique character of the Renaissance in Northern Europe. It was a period of great intellectual and artistic ferment, which laid the foundation for the extraordinary achievements of the centuries that followed. The legacy of the Northern Renaissance continues to influence our world today, reminding us of the power of cultural and intellectual renewal.